we make up the budget deficit. That is achievement. This is an ambitious but necessary budget to secure our future. The budget projects inflation will decline from the current rate of 34.6% to 15% next year, while the exchange rate will improve from approximately 1,700 naira per dollar to 1,500 naira, and a base crude oil production assumption of, say,
nuisance lele.
I want to try to explain some things to you, dear Templars, in this nonsense that that druggie just spewed as it was written for him. And I don't expect everyone to understand it. Of a few that will understand this, you are likely going to hear from me tonight a bit of warning ahead, so that if you have to start putting your acts together and get yourself ready for the storm that is about to hit Nigeria economically in 2025. It is not a prophecy, okay? You just have to take a look at the tidbits of the available information, and then from what is said as well, the hidden lies in what is said. Maybe I can help in making you understand this in a layman language, okay? Nigeria will face serious economic downturn. You see, whatever you have seen in 2024, 2025 will be like, 2024 will be like a child's play to what you are going to face in 2025. Because you cannot run a country on lies. You cannot run a country based on falsified data, statistics. It doesn't work that way. A quick reminder that in this 2024, this Tinubu legitimate regime is operating four budgets, right? When it comes to budget disclosure and transparency, Tinubu and his gang, they are the worst thing to happen to you in that contraption, and there is no way out. Okay? To start with, Tinubu and his gang, right? In order to deceive you and deceive themselves, they told you that the original data, a manageable data, which is like at least close to something that you can actually say is real or was real, was the unemployment data in Nigeria. The data said at the time that more than 45% of Nigerians are unemployed, no job at all, while over 70% of Nigerians, right, were underemployed, which means they are those who have no permanent job or permanent source of income. They just do whatever they could to get by, okay? So which automatically could correlate with the over 70% poverty rate in Nigeria at the time. But when Tinubu and his gang came in, right, they removed the guy in charge of the NBS, the National Bureau of Statistics in Nigeria, under Bukwari. They removed him and he appointed another person. And once this person came on board, the first thing he did was to announce that Nigeria has no unemployment problem at all. That in fact, Nigeria is having, if Nigeria have any problem at all, it's going to be the problem of overemployment. So from over 44% unemployed Nigerians, they cut it down and they announced that it's only 4.8% Nigerians that are unemployed. This was the beginning of all the fraudulent statistics they are using to make projection. Then, last year, while the 2023 budget was still active, Bokwari was the one who signed the 2023 budget before Tinubu came on board. Tinubu and his gang, they quickly put together what they called 2023 supplementary budget, making it 2 budgets. And that was like about 2.8 trillion naira budget, supplementary budget, combine that with 2023 budget. So by the end of 2023, he submitted 2024 budget, right? And that got passed. So by the end of 2023, his gang, they said the 2023 budget, 2023 supplementary budget, they should be given an extension until the end of 2024, end of this year. 2023 budget is still active up till now. 2023 supplementary budget active. 2024 budget active. Then they put together, in 2024, they put together again another supplementary budget of over 3 trillion naira. Now making it 4 budgets active in this year alone. And there is no single positive impact of that on Nigeria economy or the Nigerian people. Not a single one. Now they have put together 2025 budgets. Guess what? Just a day before Tinubu presented that yesterday, they made a move again to say, you see all those budgets from 2023, including this 2024. In fact, they actually said 2024 budgets in particular. They've given it a life extension to 2025 June. Usually, at the end of every budget year, all the ministries, departments, parastatals, all of them, they would have to return all the money that was given to them under the current budget. They have to submit everything back to the national purse, so that they can then, because they are the ones who will write the budget for another year. And the way they normally do in Nigeria, which is something we are still going to scrutinize on this platform very soon, they just copy and paste what they put in 2023 budget. You found it in 2024 budget. Have you forgotten? The same thing they budget for in 2023 is in 2024. In this 2025 budget, is copy and paste as well. It's going to be there. Or the money they gave to them in 2023, 2024, they gave them extension to go and spend it in 2025. There's no scrutiny, there's no nothing. Also, in 2024 budget, they said their deficit was 9 trillion, right? And that they added the projection of revenue projection of 18 trillion. That was what they said. Deficit of 9 trillion, which they said they were going to borrow. And the revenue of 18 trillion, which they expected to make from crude oil sale, as well as taxes. But from what he now presented, he's saying that, well, they are able to they generate 14 trillion. It didn't tell us how much they eventually borrowed in 2024, but I have an idea to tell you. The Central Bank of Nigeria alone printed, in this 2024, they printed over 18 trillion naira in the ways and means they gave to Tinubu. And when it comes to other external borrowing, Tinubu and his gang, on record, they have borrowed over $10 billion. If you convert that to Nigerian naira, that is more than 17 trillion naira as well. But they generated 14 trillion. Add all of that together, it is far, far more than the budget itself. And also, between last year and this year, they devalued Nigerian naira so that they can easily access all the loans they took. The condition of the loan is to devalue the naira. So in what he just read there, Tinubu is letting you know that that is not going to stop or change. He said their benchmark but the exchange rate is going to be 1,500 naira. And like it's like a round figure. He also said, from the current 1,700 naira. That's not the current exchange rate. The current exchange rate is over 1,700 naira. Right? So all these wrong statistics, all this wrong data that is now kind of making promise. I promise you. I promise you. You don't promise. You work with data that anybody can go and, you know what I mean? You can go and verify. You can go and cross-check. This is the data that you can say, okay, if it is like this, so what that simply means is that you can look forward to Nigeria Naira crashing to over 2,000 Naira to a dollar in 2025. They have a secret expectation they are telling themselves, and that is, which is a lie as well. They are telling themselves that by the end of 2025, or before the middle of 2025, they were expecting the oil production to hit over 2 million barrels a day. They are saying to themselves right now, or lying to their people, that they are currently producing 1.8 million barrels of crude oil every day. But the OPEC data says otherwise. The verified data of how much crude oil Nigeria is producing as we speak is 1.3 million barrels a day. But they are telling themselves that it's 1.8. So by next year, it's going to be 2 million. And the devaluation of Nigerian Naira makes the entire budget a joke as well. Because when you value their 2024 budget, let's start with 2023 budget. 2023 budget, which was 22 trillion or thereabouts, the value of that in dollars was like about 35 to 40 billion dollars to the exchange rate. Their 2024 budget, this year's budget, when they devalued the Naira last year and then early this year as well. So that one was like 27. Yeah, that was about $22 billion. So you see that drop. Now they are 2020. Oh, hang on. I think from the beginning it was valued at around $30 billion. But by this time of 2024, the entire budget is worthless, probably like $22 billion. Now their 2025 budget, 47.9 trillion, which is still probably going to be over 50 trillion by the time Akpabiole and gang finish, right? It's probably going to be over 50 billion. When you put that next to the exchange rate, it's somewhere around there, $27, $28 billion. And that is the man who wants to give you a $1 trillion economy. So when you begin to check all the data, when you begin to put all the data together, Baba, the mathematics is not mathematics anymore. So whatever he's saying to you, whatever he is reading, right? They are pure junk. And if you are a business owner in that contraption, I want to sympathize with you in advance. Okay? And as for the clowns, at a point in his presentation, he said this, and they clapped.
In fulfillment of one of my constitutional duties, and with unyielding commitment to rebuilding Nigeria towards ensuring that we remain steadfast on the journey to a prosperous future, I hereby present the 2025 budget to the joint section of the 11th National Assembly. 10th? I wrote 11. Which means you are all re-elected.
and the Ronokus, they have been celebrating that. Akpabiole loco there is the man is a Mr. Strategist. He's a Mr. Sensible. See how he just played there. See how he just quickly is, he was able to think on his feet. He was yeah. No. Maybe that's your own kind of political strategy. That is not a coincidence. It is not. It is a subtle message for the rest of you to know that those who did that, and it worked. It worked with the people who were supposed to actually represent you. Probe this. You are all re-elected. That means you are all re-elected. And they will take that beyond just the gap that it was supposed to be. So them, if you are still in the PDP or you are still in Labour Party, you better go and join them if you want your name to be written, because there will be no real election. No, there will be none. Then afterward, he left for Lagos, where he was welcomed by Papa Ajasco and his crew like this. It was promised by the same guys that they were going to be in Lagos to come and see him. The speakers, congratulations, sir. We'll come and see you in Lagos. So very soon, you are going to be seeing videos, pictures of all these guys coming to Bodilon to come and see Tinubu. And yeah, it is called state capture. There is nothing called checks and balances anymore. Well, probably there was never any anyway.
Congratulations, sir. I'm safe journey. Come and see you in Lagos, sir. Thank you. No problem.
It's all right. Lagos is free.
They are a bunch of ass leakers, rubber stamp, and they are not working for you. I hope you know that. Some will ask you and say, but what do you want them to do? They're supposed to actually like approve whatever it brings to them. Truth that. This is your Senate President, Akpabiole.
In a year. Notably, your infrastructural renaissance has paved the way for many roads, including the coastal road, the crucial arteries in Abuja, capital city. Imagine Abuja now, looking almost like London. And other parts of our country. In a year.
Abuja is looking like London. With a weekend, we'll just be like, yeah. Godless Akpabi, well done. Thank you. We have turned Abuja to small London. Wow. Abuja people, you will not tell us. You're becoming London, right? Anyway, guess what? The rubber stamp National Assembly, between that yesterday and today, But the budget don't already pass the first and second reading. Aye, it's already passed first and second reading. 2025 budget. They have now referred it to the appropriation committee, the committee that is going to do the apakwen, the alapatas, who are going to bring out, who are going to begin to put, 1.5 billion naira to construct street lights in a street in Auchi by a polytechnic in Zamfara State Polytechnic, to construct or renovate Oba's Palace in Benin. You'd be like, why would Zamfara Polytechnic be renovating Oba's Palace? It's part of the 2025 budget. In 24 hours, they've done their first reading, second reading. Now it's going to be for the Lapa Queens.
Thank you. Distinguished colleagues, is it the view of the Senate that this bill be now read a second time? Those in support say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk of the Senate, you may proceed to read the bill for the second time.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to authorize the issue from the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the Federation the total sum of 49,740,165,356 naira only, of which 4,361,358,925 naira only is for statutory transfers. 16,327,142,689,549 naira only before debt service. 14,123,544,196,406 naira only before recurrent non-debt expenditure, while the sum of 14,853,717,110,517 naira only is for contribution to the development fund for capital expenditure for the year ending on the 31st day of December 2025 and for related matters 2024. Second reading.
Distinguished colleagues, a bill for an act to authorize the issue from the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the Federation the total sum of 49,740,165,356 naira only, of which 4,435,761 million 358,925 naira only is for statutory transfers. 16,327,142,689,549 naira
only is for debt service. The sum of 14 trillion 123 billion 544 million 196,406 naira only is for recurrent non-debt expenditure, while the sum of 14 trillion 853 billion 717 million 110,517 naira only is for contribution to development fund for capital expenditure